New York City Mayor Eric Adams could be in big trouble with crazy liberals in his party after slamming woke Democrats who he thinks are causing minority voters to run away.
There's a hemorrhaging of our Latino community, our AAPI communities that's leaving the traditional Democratic base is because we've allowed the loudest and those who consider themselves to be woke. Some of us never went to sleep. And we hear and speak directly to people. And I think the party is now understanding that we have to speak at those issues that are important.
Wait, you mean Hispanics don't like being called Latinx? Remember, only 3% of them actually use that term. So, do you guys need to hear from Mayor Adams more often?
Yeah, I think that that's great. But the crazy liberals that he's talking about didn't vote for Eric Adams. He wasn't their top choice for this. He was seen as the more conservative, the former cop, et cetera. So I'm not sure how much it'll penetrate. If you have Alvin Bragg, I don't know how far you're going to get with it, but I think this kind of conversation is definitely important. And the most extreme example, or the one that I think should have kind of sent shockwaves throughout the country, was the recall in San Francisco of Chesa Boudin was fueled by Asian voters who were sick of racism, were sick of being beaten up, having their stores pillaged, et cetera. And this is a typically, well, obviously a left-leaning city, but a left-leaning voting bloc. And things like that can happen in other liberal cities. So I think it's good that he calls it out. He's in the business of keeping people safe. It's like we said the other day, Judge, white liberals are ruining this country. Present company excluded.
Yes, of course.
No, I include her.
The thing about Latinx is that you've got these people, these wokesters, who they try to impose their own concepts on the very people who don't want those concepts. Like the Latinos say, we've got Latinos to cover us. We don't need you to put this imprimatur of Latinx. And they come in and they impose all of these rules that I don't know where they come up with them, but nobody's in support of them. But because they're the loudest group, they get all the attention and everybody gets outraged over them. And I think that the mayor coming out and talking about this, I give him credit. I mean, look, I've been very hard on the mayor. I'm happy when he talked about putting the criminals who appear to have mental health problems in a facility, giving cops the ability to do that. Now he's talking about these wokesters getting, real hardworking people to move out of New York City. And he's starting to recognize what's important. And that is keeping people in New York City who at least can give them a tax base. The wokesters are like these progressives. Who even knows where they're from or where they live?
With the Latinx thing, Greg, it's like if we were in the minority and we were told that we have to refer to ourselves as Caucasians. No, I want to be white.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Latinx is a great website. Don't knock it down.
Latin triple X.
Yes. Mayor Adams is making a point that has to be made that only basically he can make, and is that most minorities aren't into wokeism, because they have bigger concerns, right? They don't care. Pronouns and dead naming, that's not part of their lives. And he knows that. He also knows that the woke solve no real problems. And the perfect example is while children were languishing during COVID, what was the SF board doing, school board doing? They were putting up decisions to change the name of schools. That helped no kid. That helped nobody. So wokeism ends up being a luxury brand for people like Joy Reid, right? They can espouse this harmful ideology that has no detrimental effect at all on their lives because they're removed from real life. So the woke, they'll see $10 eggs, they'll see $5 gas, they'll see rising crime and say, but what about gender affirmation surgery? Because they can afford the eggs, they don't drive, right? And they have private security in their gated home. So wokeism is really a luxury brand.
It is, and that's why white liberals, rich white liberals in Manhattan, are the main proponents of it.
Rui Teixeira, who works now at the AEI, he was been a longtime Democrat, and he's been trying to get Democrats, especially in D.C., to understand that they are losing the working class. And one of the reasons is because of wokeism. And he's basically talking himself into circles. But then maybe he's breaking through because you've had some people in pop culture who will do it, like Bill Maher once in a while. But what's interesting to me about Mayor Adams is where's the rest of the New York delegation? They don't do anything, but they're on Capitol Hill and they're talking about all the woke issues. Their number one issue, climate change. Look, and maybe New York needs a new Hudson or Lincoln Tunnel under the Hudson, fine. But no one in the delegation comes and speaks with him on crime. They don't talk about even like bringing workers back into the city. They're nowhere. And he's out there fighting this by himself. And I agree with the judge that you can disagree with him on some things, but you have to admire him for he's trying. He's at least trying to be creative.
Yeah, and he snuggles up in his sleeping bag and tries to show all the illegals that it's not that bad in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And AOC hates the man.
Yeah, so he must be good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What's that line? An enemy of my friend is my enemy?
No.
Yeah.
My frenemy.
My frenemy.
It's,
that's
yeah,
right.
my friends with my enema.
Yeah, you should.
My enema is my
Go
friend.
back to Latinx.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.